What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Gore back at it again. Robert Green, what's happening, brother man? How you doing? Glad to have you in here. We got some people starting to pop in and have a good time on the KastKing live show tonight, guys. Got kind of a cool show. What's going on, Mr. Shaky Head? Jesse Justice, Melissa Justice, of course. You know, they got to be in the house. So, guys, do me a favor. Start clicking that like. Start clicking that share button. I've got a sneak peek on something that I, for one, am been waiting for. So I think it's something you guys are going to adore. I know I'm already excited about it, and I'd love to show you guys the sneak peek video for it at the end of the show. But let's get some numbers up. Let's get some people in here. So YouTubers, Facebookers, start sharing this. Tell your friends. Tag your cousins, your best friends, nephews, your uncles, your sisters, your grandmas, whoever you care to tag. Let them know we got some cool stuff to talk about. Plus, I want to hear from you guys. I mean, we've got Ron Pastor in here, Ken Klein. How you doing? William, nice to have you in here. Gary, of course, it's always nice to see you. Ruben Fernandez, what's up? What's happening? We got some cool people in the house today. Joe Rollins, how's it going? It's going good for me. You know, here in Arizona, we got some monsoons that have just been tearing things up lately. We're having a super strong monsoon season here in Arizona. My local lake, you guys knew like 2-3 weeks ago, I tried to go out on it, had a monsoon coming in. Dude, this summer, Roosevelt Lake has jacked 8 or 9 boats, man. There's been some serious damage. Quite a few have sunk just this past weekend. The winds were so bad that it completely yanked a whole boat and truck and trailer sideways off the ramp while they were trying to load it. Another boat got flipped backwards from it's crazy. So guys, be careful out there. Practice safe stuff out there, guys. I'm staying off of that lake because these storms come out of nowhere, and we got a hurricane coming up Mexico that's going to start driving us. So I know the rest of the country's got some crazy weather that's capable. So guys, be careful out there. Guys, let me know. New Jersey can use some rain. Gary, I hope you can get some. So, Mr. King, how's it going? Glad to have you. Guys, I know that we've had some fun stuff happening and exciting stuff happening in the world of KastKing with iCast. Of course, I'm going to talk about the Kestrel today because I want to talk a little about Braided finesse. Bait finesse is blowing up in the industry. It's going crazy. But what's also funny is on the opposite side of the spectrum, we've got power fishing at its finest, from just high-speed gear ratios to the deadbolt with, aluminum chassis and frames. The Speed Demon's got aluminum chassis to it, but the deadbolt has no drag. I mean, it's crazy. Pizza took my little boat out with the trolling motor, got caught in a crazy storm. Yeah, you got to be careful, man. Some of those ones are just insane. Just I've got an 18-foot bass boat, and I know that one of the boats that got tore up on my lake recently was like a 21-foot nitro, just get jacked up. Then there's some big V-holes got tore up. Big V-holes getting tore up. So it can happen, guys. Don't let it get you. But back on focus, back on topic. Okay, so we've got the Kestrel, right? The Kestrel Elite is up for pre-order, guys. This is my baby. You can see I've got my 13X finesse braid on there. We're going to talk a little bit about braid. And actually, let me throw this in the comments right now, guys. I want to hear from my viewers. I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys look for in a braided fishing line? Are you guys looking for cost? Are you looking for, I'm after a 4-strand braid? Some people love the 4-strand braids. Some people are all about the 8-strand braids. There's 9-strand braids out there. Our 13X finesse, that's a 13-strand braid. Super silky. There's a whole lot of different things and a lot of options about braid out there. And, KastKing being a fishing line company, that's our grassroots. That's where we started in the world of fishing, is with fishing line. So let me know, what do you look for when you're selecting a braid? So, because there's a lot of stuff out there. Danny, what's going on? Glad to see you. Sebastian, glad to have you in the house. Okay, so Digital 410. Let me put this one up right here. Okay. Boom. Digital 410. Okay. Cost, smooth, no friction. Okay. That is absolutely a great concept here. Now, one great thing about KastKing, there's a ton of braided fishing lines out there, a ton. And I ain't talking trash about anybody out there. I really don't want to. There's some funny Instagram videos and TikToks about how to use spider wire. I'm going to leave it at that. But there's some really good brands of braid out there. So, but with KastKing braids, we've got some exceptionally great braids, especially in a price point that people are looking for. So Digital 410 says cost, smooth, no friction. And you know what? I agree. Those are some of the things that I look for. Absolutely. I mean, why pay tremendous amounts of money for something when you can get a very similar or same product, the way it performs, handles, for half the price, and smooth, no friction. I'll agree with you. KastKing definitely tries to pride ourselves on smoother lines. So some of the great lines to take a look at that I wanted to talk about, and we're going to get into quite a few, but I want to show you guys, boom, right here, the Destron braided fishing lines, okay? These are a great option. These are definitely going to achieve that cost effectiveness, okay? Super cost effective. And they have a lot to offer. Heck, let me roll it out for you guys. Oh, good looking guy. Okay, so this one right here, that blue camo to me is fire. That is fire. That is beautiful. But if you guys are looking for high visibility, you know, you've got quite a few options in that high visibility yellow, and then of course that chartreuse or the grass green. But of course, if you like just traditional camo color, you've got the blue camo. You can't go wrong with this. Like right here, I've selected 50 pound at a 600 yard spool with the 15% off deal. Click the coupon, guys, $20, and you're getting 600 yards of some of the best braid on the market for a killer price. It is great braid, super affordable. You know what I mean? 75% thinner diameter than mono. You're going to have that 4-strand braid. To me, that 4-strand braid is a lot similar to that, to like the Cast Pro braid. So I like to look at the Destron braid as your economical solution to a Cast Pro style line. And with the second generation color fast technology and the multi-tough fibers that are used in the Destron braid, this is a great option. Totally great option. What are your guys' favorite braids right here? I used, what does it say? I'm not going to post that one. Somebody's got a similar comment on spider wire, but I'm not going to touch that. So right here, Sean says, I like my ocean blue Cast Pro. So perfect. Sean, I agree with you. It's great stuff. It's phenomenal. You jump over here and go into your normal blue in the Destron braid if you're looking for more of an economical solution, because that Cast Pro made with, you know, the Spectra fibers by the Honeywell Corporation, it does pack a little bit more of a higher price range. So if you're trying to stay in an affordable world, still utilizing a great, super tough 4-strand braid, Destron's a killer option. Definitely a killer option. Killer price going on. You got a discount hitting on it. You can't go wrong. But now here's another thing to look at. This is something I love. 8-strand braid. Extra thin. Rounder, smoother. It is pretty smooth. It's very sensitive. Knot strength. Okay, now we're going to get into that. Okay, boom. Mr. Shaky Head said loves the price. Okay, that is actually a great thing to look at. So when you get into, like, say, the Destron braid, or you get into, say, the Super Power Silky 8, okay, here's something to take note of. Price is a big thing. Now, if you're going to get into we'll go into a 50-pound braid comparison, okay? I love our Silky 8 braid. It's an 8-strand. It is super sensitive, super strong, super silky smooth, but you have less options in colors, and you can only get it in 300-yard spools. Now, your knot abilities and tying knots, I don't know if that's a big deal to everybody. Your knot abilities to cinch a knot down on the Silky 8 are going to be great. They're going to be fantastic. But I will say the Destrin and the way it's not that silkiness to it. It is a smooth line, but it's not as silky. And that's kind of the trade-off and the handoff you get when you start playing with some of these lines is the smoothness to it. So the silkier, the smoother it is, kind of like Cast Pro Finesse Braid, you start to get into a world where getting that knot to cinch down can be kind of, you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. It's definitely a bigger deal. So your knot ability or the ability to lock knots in is going to be stellar. Some of your best knot ability is going to be in your Destrin, right? You jump over into your Super Power Silky 8 and your Super Power Braid is going to have excellent knot capabilities as well and strength and stuff. But when you get into the Silky 8, you start to get into your 13X, you're going to notice that it's so smooth and so slick. You've really got to pay attention to your knot abilities and making sure that works in there. Okay, check this out. Van Hendricks has got a great comment right here. Mr. Van Hendricks says, I've been using the new Destrin braid in a 40-pound moss green for the past few weeks on my frog rod, and it's been fantastic. Now, I'm glad you said that because we're going to get into this. So the Silky 8 and stuff like that's a fantastic stuff. When we're talking the Kestrels, okay, we've got our bait finesse world that we're back and forth in. When we're going to be using braid on, say, like the Kestrel bait caster or the Kestrel spinning reel, I've got to instantly go, guys, you're almost doing yourself a disservice if you're not using 13X or the 8X finesse. You really are. Or some really awesome braids like that. Now, I'm using the Silky 8 on, and I also have some on my Destrin on one of my other Speed Demon Pros. Here's my frog rod, okay? And I normally been using the Speed Demon Elites for my frog rods, but since the Speed Demon Elite deadbolts come out, I'm going to do a little frogging with this very soon. So that's what I've got in a 50-pound, okay? So I have to definitely agree with you. That Destrin braid and the Silky 8 in 40 to 50 pounds, that is the money right there when it comes to frogging and things like that. Now, we talked about tying knots down. Your Destrin's going to have superior ability to lock knots in. The Silky 8 is going to do well. The 13X is going to do good, but you got to pay attention to make sure you're getting it out there. Your Super Power Braid is going to do fantastic too. So wait a minute. Hold on here. Let's look at this. Robert Green says, I use a tip of glue on my knots. So that's something else to think about, guys. If you have issues where you think, like, say, maybe your 13X, you just got the new Kestrel right here with the 13X, and you're not sure that you'll be able to lock your knots in, Robert Green says, touch it with a touch of glue and some super glue or whatnot. What would you say, Robert? What kind of glue do you use on your knots? I personally have never done that. I've seen other people do that. I've actually seen MLF guys and Bassmaster Elites do that. So I can't say that that's not a great idea. I can say that sounds like a professional idea that a lot of other people I've seen in the industries do it. I just have never pulled the trigger on it. Maybe I'll try it. So that's a great option. Joel Pascal's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Joel P, bro, what's happening? The braided line I have really been digging is the 13X. Super smooth and comes through the guides like butter. Okay, that's a great thing to mention, Joel. It is. But the 13X is a finesse braid. So if you're going to go out power fishing and you're going to be spooling a lot of rods, the Destrin comes in 600-yard spools, super affordable. 13X, the most you're going to find it in is 150 yards. And I got to be truthful with you. I'm not confident in using 13X braid for big, heavy power fishing. Why? Because that's not what it's intended for. It says it right on the box, 13X finesse. Now, Joel, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure you weren't suggesting people go out and go frogging or punching with 13X finesse braid. It only goes up to 30-pound. Anyways, and as you can see, I got some 30 right here that I'm going to try out on some other stuff. So I am going to go out and kind of play with it a little bit and see what its powers are. But this was designed in the application of finesse, okay? Scott Hooten says, I always use a uni and have never had it come undone. For me, the knots, my go-to knots when it comes to braid, even fluorocarbon, like the two knots that I use the most, it'll be three. The third one kind of doesn't count, but the two knots that I use on lures are going to be uni knots for lures, swivels, things like that, and the polymer knot. Those are all day long. Use them like crazy. Have great work with them. Okay. Same thing right here. Sean says none, just a good old polymer. Yep, or Palomar, however you want to pronounce it. I agree with you. It is fantastic. Fantastic. Joel says, no, don't go frogging with the finesse braid. No, don't do it. I agree. I mean, try it. You can try it, but if you lose a big old whopping fish from the finesse braid, don't say we didn't warn you. It's not designed for power fishing. It's designed for finessing. Speaking of finessing, guys, I want to show you guys somebody right here. Boom. Little shout out to Bait Finesse Empire. Since we're talking finessing, guys, check these guys out. If you guys are looking to get into the bait finesse world, and I know that there's a lot of people out there looking to get into it, especially wanting to pre-order the Kestrel right here, whether it's the BFS reel or the SFS system, jump over, check out what Bait Finesse Empire has to offer. Now, this is a new world, and the reason why I'm kicking a shout out to Bait Finesse Empire is we do work with Bait Finesse Empire. KastKing loves them. Good stuff. You actually can see right here, you've got the KastKing Zephyr, our first entry into the bait finesse world, being used right there. But if you scroll down and look, boom, right there, partnering with them is KastKing. And you can see just right down here, there it is right there. They've got the Kestrel highlighted, and you can actually go to their webpage and pre-order it right here. Boom, it shows out of stock, but you can select options to pre-order your Kestrel through Bait Finesse Empire. But one of the reasons why I wanted to give them a shout out is these cats are pretty cool. They're a small mom and pop style online company. But if you're going to get into the bait finesse world, 13X braid is definitely something you're going to want to check out. Micro lines, things like that. But where are you going to get your BFS lures? A lot of places you can't just run down to your local, fishing store and see some of these neat bait finesse things. So shout out to Bait Finesse Empire, guys. Go to baitfinesseempire.com. Check these guys out. You can pre-order your Kestrel there. You can do it at KastKing.com or tacklewarehouse.com. But if you're looking for different small bait finesse lures and things of that nature to expand everything bait finesse, definitely check out Bait Finesse Empire. Okay, guys? And that's where you can order your Kestrel. So back to wanted to give a shout out to those guys. So back to that world, guys. Let me just say, what do we got here? If you're going to bait finesse, 13X is the braid you want to use, or go into your fluorocarbons, copolymers in the 2 to 4 pound range. 13X, I'm telling you, for any rod and reel finesse, I'm starting to switch over. I used to be 100% fluorocarbon guy for my drop shot and other finessing techniques. And the 13X finesse is winning me over. I can't tell you how many industry pros secretly use it and say it's the best finesse braid they've ever used in their life, and they have contracts with other companies. I know that a lot of the pros that I deal with here in the state of Arizona adore 13X. They're saying it's the money right there. James from Muskie, what's happening, bro? Glad to see you in the house. James, also shout out, Bait Finesse Empire is an Arizona company too. Just saying. So I love the Arizona stuff. Anytime I can give a shout out. Speaking of bait finesse, I can't say anything about bait finesse without having Jimmy Lee on. Guys, Jimmy Lee, this guy right here, I am learning about bait finesse, and anytime I have questions, he's one of my go-to guys. Jimmy Lee, want to have you on the show soon. Bait finesse is blowing up. It's going to be a topic for quite a while because it is like the new hot thing, on top of a couple other things like how the deadbolt is the new hot thing in power fishing, and the Speed Demon Elite and 10.5 to 1 is the fastest gear ratio. So when you see that crazy power fishing techniques on the opposite side of the spectrum, you've got just as crazy people doing these neat things in the bait finesse world. And Jimmy Lee, I'm telling you, this guy right here, if you guys aren't following Jimmy Lee and you want to learn about bait finesse, this dude right here, he's funny as can be. I mean, he throws some of the craziest lures you've ever seen. I'm not even going to talk about the lure that I saw come across his page earlier today, but that's the cat to follow when you want to learn some stuff about bait finesse, and he's definitely somebody I follow when it comes to bait finesse. So shout out to Jimmy Lee. All right. Okay. AJ, I think it's time to crowdfund another reel or maybe a rod. It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. I'm gonna leave that alone. Mr. King, I'm just saying you might be psychic, okay? You might be psychic, okay? That's all I've got to say about that, guys. All right, so now, Scott, I'm all over the place tonight. This is more of just a hanging out Q&A kind of thing. So we talked about Destron braid, great economical solution for a legit braid, killer price, available in 600-yard spools. You can get like 1,000-yard spools in the Superpower braid. You can only get I want to say it's like 500 something yard spools. Let me jump over and take a look in the Superpower Silky 8. You can only get up to the Silky 8 only pegs you at 300 yards. Still pretty decent amount of line, but if you're looking to bulk up, 600 plus is where you want to be, and you're going to see that starting in your Destron braid. So I know that the normal Superpower braid. Let's go back and take a peek at that. That dude, it's our world famous #1 selling braid of all time. It will never go anywhere, and you can get those available into 1,000, just shy, like 3 yards shy of 1,100 yards. I mean, you can't go wrong. And super affordable, legit braid, guys. So we got you covered. Of course, then in the bait finesse world, or just drop shot and things like that, Ned rig, 13X or 8X, you can't beat it. It is the bomb. It's absolutely the way to go. Okay, so what do we have in the comments before I show you guys some stuff? Oh, absolutely, Jimmy Lee, absolutely. Milton Thompson, what's up? Adam Robinson in the house. Tracy, what's going on? I'm still hoping to make a spiral BFS rod. Or a spiral BFS. I don't know if that's something to think about. It could happen. Can't say it won't. I'm getting into finesse fishing now for the new Zephyr rod series. Definitely. I have an idea who this is. It's the secret Facebook user. All right. So Van Hendricks, completely right. So deadbolt fishing. If you guys are looking for power fishing, we already know the Kestrel Elite is the way to go in the KastKing world. Unless you want to go budget friendly, the Zephyr, try that. Start your BFS out with the Zephyr if you're going budget friendly. If you're looking to get into legitimacy on real deal stuff, check out the Kestrel, hardcore legit, industry's lightest reel on the market, made of a magnesium alloy, carbon fiber side plates. It's the way to go. Okay. Now, you're looking to go hardcore power fishing. Well, this is the dude right here. Just like Van Hendricks said, I keep saying if Scorpion had a fishing reel, it would be from Mortal Kombat. Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. It would be the Deadbolt, guys. So you got to check that out. Line it up with some 50-plus pound braid. Get it in the 60, 70, 80-pound braid. I like that 50-pound braid in the Silky 8 or even in the Destron. It's going to put some work out there and just ill will and bad intentions. So you guys got to check that out. Okay. So now let's talk about that. So what's crazy that's going on, we see that bait finesse is going crazy. There's an evolution happening in the BSF and the spin finesse world. You can see KastKing is definitely taking it serious. We dabbled with the Zephyr. The Zephyr line's done really well for us. Now you see the Kestrel. We're getting very serious into the market with two of the lightest reels in the entire industry. Our bait finesse Baitcaster is the lightest reel in the industry with 13 pounds of carbon fiber drag. Like I said, magnesium alloy frame, carbon fiber handle. I call them the Twix handles. Those are supple, so soft. Guys, jump over to Bait Finesse Empire, Tackle Warehouse, KastKing.com, pre-order this thing, fall in love. It's awesome. I'm drop shotting with a Baitcaster now when I never would have even done it. I am a spinning reel drop shot guy, and that's making me change my views. I've said it in a lot of other videos on Tackle Warehouse, things like that from lots of different videos on YouTube. When you hook up and you're running super light line on the Kestrel and you're running that drag, it's an audible click on that drag. Okay. So when you're peeling line off and letting that fish run with super light line, your reel's going to actually go zzz, zzz, click and sing to you. So you can actually tell your drag is performing the way you want it to. And you've got 13 pounds of drag. Now, a lot of the competition out there in full size, hardcore bait casters that are not finesse bait casters are only boasting 13 pounds of drag. Now you have a little bit of drag adjustment, not a huge throw. It's a very fast acting drag selection that you can scale way down or take full advantage of that 13 pounds of drag. So if you do happen to hook up on a very powerful fighting fish and you need to let that drag do work, you've got the extra drag power to do it. So that's pretty cool. Now, with these different reels and all this different revolution, we got the BFS revolution, we have the power fishing revolution. There's another revolution happening at play, and it's no secret. It's been going on for a while, and that's the gear ratio revolution. So in the Kestrel, we're seeing an 8:4 to 1 gear ratio, right? That's fast. That's super fast, but really cool if you need to catch up with a fish that all of a sudden you hook up on and he takes off on you and you're using very small hooks. You still want to keep the pressure on them. So that fast gear ratio is going to come in handy. You have a 6:2 to 1 gear ratio in the Kestrel spinning. So that's a faster gear ratio than you would traditionally see. And these are small bodied reels, tiny, and they're packing very fast ratios. Now we get into the Speed Demon series. You got the Deadbolt coming in at 7:4 to 1. You have the normal Speed Demon Elite at 8:6 to 1, or the world's fastest 10:5 to 1, and then 7:4 to 1 in the spinning series. And then you get into the Mega Jaws, you have a 7:2 to 1, and then a 9:1 to 1. Guys, let me know in the comments, what is your favorite all-around go-to gear ratio? For me, the 7:2 to 1 or 7:4 to 1 was that gear ratio to grab in just an all-around good reel. But are we seeing a shift again where years ago it was 6:6 to 1 or 6:4 to 1 was the kind of that not slow but not too fast ratio? Is it changing? And it was 7:2 to 1 is now the industry standard, but is it about to change again? And we're about to see an 8:2 to 1, 8:4 to 1, 8:6 to 1 become the new norm? You guys think that's going to happen? We see that in a lot of different reels. So that's crazy. What do we got in our comment section here? Is there rods coming we can throw in some S-class fly rods? So that's a hard one to answer. I know that we've got a couple different fly fishing rods. Now, I don't know if you've seen some of the different, like the Valiant Eagle has got some cool different options there. But as far as a linear S-class in a fly fishing rod, I'd have to look into it. I want to say that we have some different models that might have an S-glass to it. If it doesn't, I can tell you right now, some of the engineers that build our rods love fly fishing. That's got to be something that's in the books and coming. So keep an eye out for that, Jack. Appreciate that. Right here. Amir is saying, Jimmy is the man. Bait Finesse in the USA and Bait Finesse Empire, the shop wouldn't be the same without him. Thanks for the shout out. Gotta love it. Jimmy's getting a lot of love on the show tonight. Boom. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Trying to look for some really good stuff on here. Is there ever a chance KastKing would come out with it? Okay, so what do you mean yakking for life? Okay, give me a little insight here. Is there ever a chance that KastKing would come out with a DC reel? What do you mean by DC? Can you elaborate on that, please? Yakking life. All right. Oh, here we go. We got a question. Got a question. The Mega Jaws. Okay, this is a great question. Okay, right here. I got a question. The Mega Jaws, and there's a couple of the updated versions. Is there any way you can oil them, or how do you oil them? So are we talking Mega Jaws Elite or just the standard Mega Jaws updated version? I have an updated version right here. Let me pull this to the side. Now, granted, the best way to service a reel is going to be to take it apart, clean it, service it, lube it. That's going to be your best way. But if you look right here, okay, on this reel, let me just see if I can click this out the way. Give myself some extra line so I don't snag anything. And then I'm actually going to pull the reel off this Spurall rod. Here we go. We're starting to get some answers. 7:2 to 1, 7:2 to 1, 7:2 to 1. A lot of people loving that 7:2 to 1 gear ratio. It is my all-around favorite go-to to start, but it's easy. Okay, so check it out. Now, you've got some different lube accessories here. Now you actually have a drain, but that drain is actually directly on your gear case. Okay. So you can actually flip that over, let your reel flip upside down, put a couple drops, not much. You don't want to over oil it, just a couple drops of some good reel oil in there and let it sit for a little bit and then run the gear casing around. Okay. Then the next thing to do would be to open your side plate, pull it out, put a drop of oil right there at the gear case too, where you can see where the gear actually engages with the spool, and then maybe a little dab of grease on top of that as well, where the spool and the gear case come together. Those are quick, simple, easy ways to do a fast lubrication. But the best lubrication is going to be to disassemble and lube that way. But some of us don't want to do it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm one of those guys. So I go for the cheap way out a lot. And then every once in a blue moon, I'll break down, give me some iced tea, so to speak, or maybe even some hot cocoa if it's cold outside. And then I will take some reels apart and service them that way on off days. Maybe that's what I'll do this weekend with all that weather coming. So check that out, guys. Okay, so we've got 7:2 to 1 is the all-around favorite gear ratio. What do we have here? Yakin for Life says he likes a 6-speed gear ratio when he's working slower. So the cool thing is with a higher speed gear ratio, you can always slow real slower. You can reel fast as you can with a slower gear ratio, but once you'll still be hindered by that. Okay. Randy Chapman right here. Don't know if there's any relation to Brent. 6.5 to 1 or 7.2 to 1. That's a killer one. Those are good gear ratios, which we have a lot of reels that way. So what do we have in the new comment section here? AJ, I have a 7/4 sprawl that I'm planning to use as my moving bait and spinners and bladed jigs. Would you go with a Bassinator or a Mega Jaws Elite or something else? God, that is such a hard question. Okay, so the Bassinator Elite is still one of the best reels you will ever use and put on there. It's fantastic. But you will have to physically adjust the brakes more often. Josh Kramer, shout out. What's up, brother? Haven't seen you in a while. Glad to see you on here. The Mega Jaws Elite is such a killer reel. So awesome. Now that's something to think about. The Mega Jaws Elite comes in a 9.1 to 1 and a 7.2 to 1. So if you're looking to run that 7.2 to 1 ratio, Mega Jaws Elite, and that's going to be in your silver colored reel, right? Your 9.5 or 9.1 to 1 is going to be your fast red, race car red kind of color. So those are great, and they have that true self-adjusting centrifugal brake system. Now, if you want to go into an 8-speed or into a 6-speed, maybe the gear ratio is going to be your change. That's going to be in the Bassinator. So gear ratio may dictate that. Price may also dictate that. Now, the Bassinator is made in a little different market with a little different care to it on some of the different designs. And there are some patented designs in both. And there's different politics as to why price is what it is. So price will dictate. You're going to start at $150 and up for your Bassinators. You're going to hit $129 for your Mega Jaws Elite. Both have an aluminum frame. Both have centrifugal braking systems. The Bassinator has a true, legit swing wing interior braking system that you will have to adjust and move out the counterweights, where the Mega Jaws, it will self-adjust for you, but then you can micro adjust with a magnetic braking eye on the outside. So it's a dual braking system. So there's pros and cons to both. It's a hard one. So maybe gear ratio will be what dictates it. They both cast extremely well and do very well. They're both aluminum frame, carbon fiber side plates. I mean, they're awesome. That's a tough one. So price will possibly dictate, or functionality may dictate it, but they both fish very well. Me personally, love the Mega Jaws. Love the Mega Jaws. I own plenty. I also will never look past the Bassinator, though. The Bassinator is, there's a reason why, even with the Deadbolt and the Mega Jaws Elite, Brent and Cliff both have all on their boat because they have different options and tools for them. So that's a tough question. All right. Now, guys, we're coming up on that. Oh, we went 30 minutes into it, guys. So let's see here. Scott Hooten is, what do we got? I'm currently throwing a 7.4 sprawl paired with a Mega Jaws. I've got so many sprawls, so many Bass, Speed Demon Pro rods, and I've got Bassinators on both. I've got Mega Jaws Elites on both. I'm throwing my crankbaits with a Mega Jaws Elite because of that self-adjusting, so I can whip them out in different windy conditions. I like that for crankbaiting. And I'm actually throwing my crankbaits on a inshore estuary rod, believe it or not. The 8-foot estuary rod's got a killer parabolic bend, and it's 8 foot. You can just sing crankbaits like you wouldn't believe on that thing. So that's what I'm doing with it, with 17-pound fluoro, 15 to 17 pound, give and take what I'm doing at the time. So it's killer stuff. So guys, all right, so we've much gone past that 30-minute mark. I told you guys that I would give you guys a sneak peek before the show is over of something. Talked about some different kind of things going on. It's such a crazy world. It's such a crazy world. I'm going to have to show it to you guys. You guys ready? All right. So before I let you guys go, this is a sneak peek. We've got quite a few people in here. Got a lot of love. I'm going to give you guys the sneak peek. Okay. Before I do, guys, shout out to, Bait Finesse Empire. Order your Kestrel Elite there. Spinning baitcaster. You can check it out at Tackle Warehouse. You can do it at KastKing.com, wherever you want to do that. But if you're looking for all the different little small micro bait finesse stuff, jump over to Bait Finesse Empire. Check out some of the stuff. You can get a lot of different things there. Amazon's got killer deals going on right now when it comes to the new Destron braid. Check out the 13X finesse. KastKing's got a 15% off deal going on with quite a few different stuff to check out. So you've got definitely tons of different things to look at. So from 13X braid, the Destron braid, Kestrel Elite, Cliff Crochet's new deadbolt with no drag, Speed Demons 10:5-1 fastest gear ratio on the market, the Spiral rods. I mean, we've got a million different things going on. We are coming into top water season right now, going into closing and on end of the summer. Fall's right around the corner. Top water world is about to get kicking off. But for right now, some of those fish may be deep because it's really hot. Bait finesse world is another thing to do. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, winter's going to hit and finesse fishing is going to happen again. So you've got dead of summer, dead of winter, bait finesse. Going into the end of the summer, fall, you're going to have power fishing, top water, frogs, flipping, things like that. I mean, there's a lot of fun to do. 13X braid will help you in your finesse. The Destron braid will help you in your power fishing. But with that said, we're coming into fall and winter, and I'm going to show you guys a sneak peek you're going to want to watch for right now. But before I do, guys, stay tuned. It's coming. Sneak peek video right here. I got to tell you right now, guys, if you're not following us on TikTok at KastKing USA, Instagram at KastKing USA or KastKing Community, or right here on Facebook and YouTube, just simply under KastKing, you're missing out, guys. I think a giveaway is in order next week, so definitely keep watching. I'm going to do a giveaway. That's it. That's all there is to it. I'm going to do a giveaway next week. Giveaway AJ needs to come out of the woodwork and get it done for the people. But KastKing's getting ready to get it done for the people. And here's a new sneak peek for all you guys on what KastKing has in store. Guys, my name is AJ Gore. Keep watching for a ton of new products. And I tell you what, I just got a sneak peek of some of the stuff that's coming from 2023. We ain't done yet for 2022, but we're already getting started on 2023, guys, and it's exciting. But right here is a sneak peek of what you guys can be excited for. A little cold weather fishing, KastKing's got you covered. Yes, that's right, guys. Cold water gear.